Thompson, and welcome. If you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a chance. And please stick around, don't go anywhere. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. So, yes, compliments of the new year. Gosh, before I forgot, happy 2025. And I hope you're as excited, to have finally stepped into the new year, resolutions in place, plans in place for most of us. So, and I know that can be a bit overwhelming, which is why I wanted to talk about this today, the New Year's anxiety. And it's quite normal actually to be anxious at this time of the year. It is quite normal because, like I said, you're gonna have those resolutions in place, and you're going to think a lot about how you're going to accomplish them. You must have plans in place of how you're going to accomplish them. So it is normal to have a little bit of anxiety. But then I think it's very important that we are mindful and aware when it's now affecting our if it's affecting your health, you know when it's becoming too much, we must be mindful of such. And it's like I said, it's quite normal to be anxious at this time of the year, because if you think about it, um, during the festive season, Christmas times and New Year's, we go all out. We go all out. We celebrate with family. We travel. We do this and that. So it's quite a lot. So normally at this time of the year, most of us are depleted. Um, Physically you're tired, mentally, emotionally, you're just depleted because you went all out, and sometimes even financially. So it's quite normal to be anxious at this time because it's the beginning of the year. And for some of us who have children that are going to school, I mean, you start thinking about everything, stationery, new uniform, just everything, if they're changing schools. So it can be a lot sometimes. So that's why I said it's quite normal to be anxious. But the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is because I realized that this year was a bit different. um that's when I realized that I needed to do something. It was not like the normal anxiety that I would get beginning of the new year. And I realized when I started struggling to sleep. I'm one person who doesn't struggle with sleeping. I don't struggle. I sleep, throughout the night. I don't struggle at all. So I started struggling with my sleep. And I remember this other day as well. I actually had everything planned on that day to say this is what I wanted, or things that I wanted to do. And unfortunately, that day my baby was very fussy, and I couldn't get anything done. And because of that, I was so frustrated. Actually, frustration is an understatement. I was angry. I was angry at myself that I wasn't able, to accomplish or to do anything actually that I had planned. That's when I started to realize that no, this anxiety is becoming too much. So, I started reading about it and, trying to find ways on how to deal with it. And the number one thing that I, you know, found out, or from what I read that I needed to do, was to get enough sleep, to get enough rest. That is very important, because what I was doing is that whenever I'm awake, my mind or my brain was overthinking, was overworking. I'm thinking about these resolutions, I'm thinking about these plans. How am I going to go about it? So I wasn't giving myself enough rest. So what I thought, or what I did actually, which actually helped, is that I set apart time, about 2 hours on a daily basis, ne? Just until I get everything in place, all the plans in place. But what I did was that I put 2 hours aside on a daily basis to say that, okay, this is the time that I'm going to spend thinking and planning about these resolutions. Only the 2 hours. Outside of that, life goes on as normal. Because now, if you don't put that time apart, you're going to end up overthinking, like I said, and then eventually it's going to affect your sleep. and it's going to affect your mental health. I mean, it's anxiety, that's how it works. So that's the number one thing. You need to give yourself rest, physically and mentally. You need to give yourself rest. Sleep as much as you can, you know. And then if you have identified that the fact that your anxiety is caused by maybe the fear of not being able to accomplish your resolutions this year, then you need to make sure that you change your mindset. Let's say, for example, you've been having maybe the same resolution for the past 2 or 3 years, and for some reason you're not able to, accomplish this. It can be anything. Let's say you're trying to pay off your debts. Nay, if you're trying to pay off your debts and you're struggling to do that, then you need to identify the reason why you're struggling to pay off your debts. Nay? Then you need to change your mindset. Let's say, for example, you're somebody who's very impulsive when it comes to applying for credit. Let's say when you have a need and then you don't have sufficient funds for the need, the first thing you think about is, okay, let me increase my overdraft, or let me increase my credit card limit, or let me do a top up on that loan. If that's the case, then you need to change your mindset. Because if you're coming back, or if you're coming into this year with the same mindset, then you're going to find yourself the same place that you were a year ago. So you need to change your mindset. Then the other thing is that let us stop comparing ourselves. Oh gosh. Ooh, okay. Social media is there, guys, and it's not gonna go anyway. And I know how it feels. Oh, I know how it feels, ne? Because you see everybody posting all these things that you also want to have, you know. People are building houses, people are buying new apartments, new cars, or whatever. It's a lot. And it's really nice, to see people accomplishing such. But then you need to stop comparing yourself. You need to be true to yourself, especially when you jot down those resolutions. You need to be realistic. I'm not saying that it's wrong to aim high, but guys, it's very important that you're realistic. Look at your current situation, have an action in place, and make sure that that action is as realistic as it can be. Because if you're having non-realistic plans, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. It's not gonna work. So stop comparing yourself to the people that you see on social media. Yes, I know some of them, you know them, you grew up with, or you come from the same place. It's fine. Stay in your lane. Have plans according to the things that you really know that you want to accomplish, and be true to yourself. Just because somebody bought a new car, a new SUV or whatever, it doesn't mean that now this year is your year. You also need to get your SUV. It's fine if it's something that you really wanted, but it shouldn't come from a place where you're comparing yourself with somebody. You saw that so and so on social media posted that now you also want that. If that's what you're going to do, then I'm telling you right now, that's like, it's going to be suicidal, if I can use that term. So stop comparing yourself, be true to yourself, and like I said, be realistic. And then the other thing that can help as well with those resolutions, have if especially if it's something big that you want to accomplish, break it down to you know break it down to maybe 4 or 5 segments, depending on what it is, and or into terms, of the year. Let's say you want to accomplish something that is very big, that's going to require a lot of money, of which you don't have currently. This means that you must start saving. Ne? Let's say, for example, whatever that you want to buy, you're going to need 50,000. If you don't have 50,000 now, you need to be realistic on how are you going to get to the 50,000. What do you need to do to make sure that you get to 50,000? And I mean, if you don't have 50,000 now, when are you going to get 50,000 in February? So if you need to save for that, then you need to break down those plans into whatever it is, segments, quarters, or maybe months, to say okay, maybe from January to June, I'm going to save towards this, and this is how I'm going to do it. Then maybe from July, that's when I can look into buying, purchasing, investing, or whatever. You see, that's being realistic. If you don't have 50,000 now in January, how are you going to buy something? How are you going to buy something that costs 50,000 in February? Do you get what I'm saying? And please avoid those quick money making schemes. You need to make sure that you are as realistic as it can be. And then, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do, guys. And I would also want to hear from you, you know, what worked for you, what it is that you did, what it is that you're doing, what it is that that is working for you. You know, let's share these ideas and help each other. Put God at the center of everything. That's the last thing that I can advise you to do. Pray about your resolutions. You know, remember last year, most of the videos that I did were on the subject of living out your purpose. So I would think that whatever plans that you have in place would be plans that are going to, I mean, bring you closer to that purpose, or that are going to lead you to that direction. So yeah, pray about your plans, pray about everything. Put God at the center of everything, and I assure you, you will never go wrong. Don't um don't compare yourself to anyone. You know, everybody has their own journey in this world, which is something that I think most of us are struggling with. You know, we look on social media, we look at our colleagues, we look at family members, friends, and everyone, and we compare ourselves. You know, if somebody buys a new car, if somebody buys a new house, then you feel like you should also, you know, buy a new car or buy a new house. If it's not your time yet, make peace with that. I'm not saying that you're not going to buy a car or a new house, or you're not going to accomplish whatever that they have accomplished, but if it's not your time yet, you need to be honest with yourself. Stay in your lane. Focus on the things that need your attention at that time. So, guys, yeah, this is what I wanted to say today. I know it's not like the long videos that I normally do. I just wanted to have a quick chat. And yes, I'm very, you know, optimistic about this year. But remember, as much as you can be optimistic, it's very important that we have plans in place, like I said, to make sure that we accomplish whatever plans that we might have for this year. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I want to wish you all the best for this year. Everything that you have planned, I pray to God that you'll be able to accomplish. So yes, that's about it for today, guys. I love you so much, and all the best for the new year. Bye.